So big nerf announced by Expedition 33. Patch 1.2.3 is now live. Here's the patch notes here. If you want to pause and read them, because I'm only going to focus specifically on what everybody wants to know is Maelle's nerf, because they specifically tweeted that they were going to nerf one of the skills, and they ended up nerfing the sword as well a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead and go to the weapons balances real quick. So you can pause there for that if you needed any of those situations. I think the one highlight I saw for sure was that PS5 controller is not compatible on the Game Pass, so that's pretty good if you were needing that. Another highlights here: fixed areas of the roadmap where you can get stuck. So it looks like they had a lot of specific spots that they fixed, like here's flying waters and spring meadows near the bridge, and rocks on the world map near flying waters. So that's pretty cool that they were able to pinpoint exactly where people were getting stuck and fix it, instead of just saying fixed places where you can get stuck. They actually specified where you can. And here again on this one, where they said that some situations this kid would get stuck whenever he tried to fly, and I've gotten stuck a few times. I had to use the load save file to get out of it, basically. But here's where we want to focus on right here. That is weapon and skill fixes and tuning. Specifically, Stendhal at the bottom, you see the reduced damage by 40%, which is a pretty significant nerf. 40%. I was doing at one point some of the damage 250 million. It was very conditional. I had to hit the roulette 200% to get that. Obviously, most of the time I felt like I was hitting about 100 million consistently for single target damage with the Stendhal, obviously. But this is what I am worried about. Fix Medalum's third Lumina. Fix Medalum third Lumina, doubling all damage in virtual stance instead of doubling only burn damage. So that sounds like a pretty big nerf as well, because essentially the sword was doubling damage and it was only supposed to double burn damage. So I'm not sure what this third Lumina, what that specifically means here, because I mean, obviously, as somebody that was just using a setup where it was Stendhal and Phantom Strike, I believe it's called, I'm not sure what this third Lumina is, but it sounds like a pretty big nerf. So if somebody was using, I mean, is that a skill? Like I gotta look. Let's jump to the game real fast. Other fixes included here. You could read that if you want to pause it, for your purposes of reading what they've all fixed here, or you can check out the patch notes on their tweet that they sent out, on their Twitter account, or on the site where I'm in now, expedition33.com, where they had the patch notes. But let's go ahead and jump over to the game itself now. And I'm at the merchant. So at the merchant, if I did the single damage to any of the characters in this one, it would be about 25 million on the low end and around 120 on the high end. So let's see if we can duplicate any of that. Like, I expect that the 100 million would be gone. Like, I think 50 million would probably be where it is at this point now. So let's go to Maelle. So first, let me test out the AoE, make sure that that's not part of this third Lumina thing, because I'm not so sure what this third Lumina thing is. I guess there's something else. Not no swift stride. No, so none of that stuff. So Phantom Strike is what I use to clear any areas that have multiple enemies, right? So this one would clear this wave easily, and I would be able to farm this merchant for some Luminas here. So let's make sure that this is still good. This was nerfed. This would kill him instantly. And now all of a sudden he's alive. So there was a little bit of a nerf, it looks like, to this. Now it doesn't look like it's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, I could just kill him easily with one little shot here. Actually, wow, no, that's not even a kill. Wow, and that got nerfed too, because I used to be hitting way harder than that. Highest damage 1.6. So, man, I got a feeling the sword itself got nerfed. That's what it feels like. It feels like the sword itself got nerfed. Now let me leave. Oh, actually, let's go back to and see the Stendhal nerf. 40%. So if I were to, let's just aim it at the merchant. All right, so at the merchant, like I said, low end on my build, 25 million. 35 million. I'm not sure what the roulette roll. I didn't take a look at that, but that would mean that it would, if you did 40% on that, man, what are you looking at? That was like a 70 million hit or something that got dropped down to 35. Yeah, that's a nasty looking number, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Phantom Strike I can't do. Now, normally what I'll do is if I'll use Last Chance now, and I used to be able to go right away with Shortcut. Sorry, so there you go. Shortcut is in. Let's see, Phantom Strike. Okay, it's still. Now I noticed that the Phantom Strike there, it made me. Look, that's 30. That was 35 hit earlier. It made me try to do the two skills instantly, and it normally wasn't like that. I feel like they really just messed with Maelle, period. It seems like Maelle as a whole got kind of nerfed. Like I said, like these waves right here would be no problem for Maelle in my build, especially with Phantom Strike. Taking two at once was light work all the time. It would always work. Now look, now he lives like that. Yeah, this as a whole, the sword got nerfed. I'm convinced of that. That right there lets me know that that's what happened. Let's see, Stendhal. 30 million. Again, I used to be hitting these things for 100 million. It feels like it's a lot more than 40%. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the percentage was there on the roulette. It feels off. It feels off. I used to never have to worry about any enemies being alive after the first one, after Phantom Strike. So it is a nerf. I wanted to take a look at the weapon itself right here for Maelle. Medalum, level 20. Okay, this is what we're talking about. In virtual stance, burn deals double damage. So the sword is nerfed essentially, because apparently at level 20 the sword would be doing doubling damage no matter what. And I guess it always read like this, but if we go back to the notes here, it says fix Medalum's third Lumina. So there you go, right there, level 20 Lumina, basically doubling all damage in virtual stance. So it used to double everything. Okay, so that now it makes sense. So the sword is nerfed essentially. It's 50% or more nerfed. So that's why those waves are alive now, because any skill in virtual stance was basically doubling the damage, and now that's gone. So the wording has been fixed to where it's only for burn damage. So if you want that damage back, you gotta obviously place burn. I mean, you can do that with free aim, put the burn first, and if you have a couple of pictos, you'll be able to get your AP back to try to do Stendhal, and then you know, still one shot, obviously with 40% reduction, but it's a big nerf. That one is probably even more eye-opening in my opinion than the Stendhal 40%, because I don't think a lot of people realize that it was even doing this. I just think they thought the weapon was just very good, and they're saying that it was doubling all damage and not just doing the burns. It was just doing it all together. So that is pretty significant. Pretty significant. So, wow. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's what, that's 50%, right? Or maybe more of damage. So that's why these waves are living now, because it used to be where you could kill them easily. So these hits were double. So if I go back to creatines, whatever they're called. Création. There's in French. So Phantom Strike essentially is nerf. All skills are essentially nerf because they're not doing the double damage that they used to be doing in virtual stance. So these 571s were used to be millions and now they're not. So one of them will always live now, it feels like. And this is non-virtual stance here, so this should still hit pretty good. Nope, look, only 30. I mean, yeah, it got nerfed big time. Even without the stance, that used to do pretty good damage. So the sword is nerfed. The sword as a whole is nerfed. Obviously, I'm still going to be fine with my setup. You guys can see at level 99 and the pictures I have, it's not like it's a super struggle. It's an inconvenience because now there's people that might live. You know, maybe I could go ahead and put more luminas onto something to try to get that damage back. But it used to be my setup to where these waves took Phantom Strike and that's it. And if I had to use the Stendhal, it was hitting for 100 million plus, and now I couldn't hit 100 million at all. I think what the highest I got was 50 something, mostly 30s. So pretty significant nerf for me at level 99. Now obviously for some of you guys that are just now getting some of this, and some of them that just got Stendhal and all excited to get the build, and you were excited to even get 5 million, now 40%, you're dropping down to 3. So let's look at the Stendhal again. Let's just do this one here since he has no shield. See if I can get 100 million anymore. Nope, look, 13 million. Wow. Yeah, like I said, my base, my floor was always around 24 million. So this is pretty bad right now. Actually bad. And again, like these hits used to just melt, and now they're not doing nothing. Significant nerf to the weapon that a lot of people probably even know. So, wow, Maelle for some might be just might be, I'm still strong, obviously. Just it might be shocking for some people. It might be shocking. It's shocking to me right now. I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I missed those 100 millions. Now I can't say that I'm not gonna get it back. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put more pictos and all that stuff. As long as I can still farm this spot, then you know I'm gonna be able to get luminous, and I'm gonna be able to get more damage and stuff like that through different pictos that I don't have still in the setup. But because this is the spot where I would use, and it used to be in one Phantom Strike, one Phantom Strike here, and I'm farming this guy for, you know, for oops, not still easily. Okay, so I can still do it, but yeah, that damage is pretty low now. So if you're not level 99, it's gonna be even lower for you guys. If you don't have the weapon at 33, it's gonna be lower for you guys, and it's a pretty significant nerf. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Does this change your opinion on Maelle? Is she still your go-to? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm out.